Chosen one. Listen carefully. This message is urgent and could save your life. God has spoken clearly. In the days ahead, you are only allowed to eat 3 sacred foods. Everything else is poison. If you're watching this right now, it's not by accident. You have been chosen to survive the coming storm. The global spiritual surge and transformation that will separate the awakened from the lost. The foods you consume are not just fuel for your body. They are the foundation of your spiritual power. The wrong foods will drain you, poison your spirit, and keep you trapped in weakness. But the right foods, only these 3, will awaken your true power and keep you alive when everything else falls apart. This is not a warning to take lightly. The days ahead will test you like never before. The coming pandemic, the global spiritual upheaval, many will not make it. But if you commit to these 3 sacred foods, you will be unstoppable. You are no longer just human. You are a spiritual warrior chosen to rise above. The power you need is inside you. And these 3 foods will unlock it. Before we dive into this life-changing message, take a moment to pause this video and do 3 things. Hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 90,000 subscribers, and leave a comment with the number. This number will send a powerful signal to the universe, amplifying the energy of this video. And remember, if you are truly a chosen one, you'll watch this video until the end. Because deep down, your spirit already knows that this is for you. If you're not ready to receive this truth, you might not make it to the end. But for those who do, your life will never be the same. Now, let's get into it. Do not ignore this message. Do not delay. The time to prepare is now. Eat only rice, beans, and salmon fish. This is the key to your survival and your transformation. Are you ready to become unstoppable? The choice is yours. This is a divine instruction, an urgent call to the chosen ones. Only 3 foods have been declared safe and spiritually charged for the coming days: rice, beans, and salmon. Everything else, no matter how organic or clean it may appear, is contaminated either by the hand of man, trauma of slaughter, or genetic manipulation. God's voice in this hour is clear and unwavering. The world is on the edge of a massive spiritual awakening, but also of deep chaos and confusion. The old ways of eating, living, and thinking won't sustain what's coming. This is not about food alone. It's about survival, clarity, and becoming who you were destined to be. The chosen ones are being separated and purified, and part of that purification is happening on your plate. Why rice, beans, and salmon? Because they are more than nutrition. They are spiritual technologies, hidden in plain sight. These foods carry frequencies of grounding, healing, and clarity. They're simple, ancient, and untouched in ways that matter. When eaten in obedience, they become tools of divine alignment, restoring what's been lost mentally, physically, and spiritually. In the physical realm, these 3 foods are nutritional powerhouses. Rice provides sustainable energy. Beans are packed with life-giving protein and fiber. And salmon delivers vital omega-3s that ignite your brain and heal inflammation. But what most don't realize is that their value goes far beyond the body. These foods were chosen by God because they fuel the soul. For the chosen ones, survival is not just about staying alive. It's about staying in purpose. These 3 foods will preserve your clarity in a time of mass confusion, strengthen your body in a time of weakness, and ignite your spirit in a world drifting into darkness. Just as God gave manna in the wilderness, He now gives you this holy trio. Ignore this instruction, and you may find yourself overwhelmed, foggy, and spiritually disconnected. History shows us that God always prepares His people before a shift. Noah built the ark. Joseph stored the grain. Esther fasted for favor. Now you are being instructed to prepare, not with fear, but with faithful obedience. Rice, beans, and salmon may seem too simple, but in their simplicity lies profound power. God doesn't complicate survival. He sanctifies it. In this spiritual war, not all food is innocent. Much of what is marketed today, the colorful packaging, the lab-grown meats, the heavily processed health snacks, are spiritual traps in disguise. They are created in systems that do not honor life, energy, or spirit. These foods disconnect you from your higher self, weaken your body, and fog your spiritual antenna. Imagine eating the flesh of a terrified animal, slaughtered without mercy, its trauma absorbed into its cells. That energy doesn't disappear, it enters you. Or consider the seedless fruits, the GMO grains, the lab-cultured dairy. These are not foods, they are fragments of dead matter that carry no life force. You may feel full, but you're starving at the soul level. This is not paranoia, this is discernment. The enemy knows that to dull a people's power, he must first dull their diet. When your fuel is fake, your fire is weak. But when your fuel is sacred, you become unshakable. Rice, beans, and salmon are spiritually clean, untouched by synthetic engineering and trauma. They are not just survival food, they are spiritual armor. We are witnessing a global shaking, systems crumbling, truths being unveiled, and spiritual eyes being opened. This isn't just political or environmental. This is spiritual warfare unfolding before our eyes. And in the middle of this storm, a surge is rising, a wave of divine power meant for those who are ready. The chosen ones are feeling it. You're sensing the urgency. The dreams are clearer. The atmosphere feels charged. You are not imagining it. The shift is real. And in this global surge, not everyone will rise. Only those who are spiritually prepared, physically grounded, and mentally aligned will ride the wave of transformation. Food is a critical part of this preparation. Just as a phone needs the right charger, your soul needs the right fuel. Rice, beans, and salmon may seem ordinary, but they are extraordinary spiritual tools disguised in common form. Eating them is not just a choice, it's an act of alignment with divine frequency. You are not meant to stay the same. You are evolving not into a better human, but into a higher being, one fully aligned with divine purpose. This transformation requires fuel that matches your destiny. Just like you wouldn't put water in a jet engine, you cannot feed your ascending soul with junk and expect it to soar. Rice grounds your spirit, beans build your internal temple, and salmon ignites your mental fire. These three foods are designed to rewire you, to cleanse old programming, and to rebuild your body from the inside out. They are not just food, they are codes of healing, regeneration, and divine identity. There is a reason ancient cultures survived on these staples. They didn't have processed meals or chemical-laden snacks. They had nature, and nature was enough. Today, God is calling us back to the sacred simplicity of divine fuel, not to regress, but to ascend stronger, sharper, and more connected than ever. Every bite you take either builds you or breaks you. Foods that come from trauma carry trauma. The meat industry is a system of fear, stress, and suffering. Animals raised in cruelty release hormones of terror that stay locked in their muscles. When you eat that meat, you consume that energy. It sits in your body like a spiritual toxin. Genetically modified organisms, GMOs, are another silent weapon. They may look like food, but they are spiritually empty. Designed in labs, manipulated on a cellular level, these foods distort natural balance. They confuse your body, cloud your mind, and interrupt your spiritual flow. The chosen ones cannot afford to be spiritually distracted or energetically drained. God is merciful. And so, He's giving you the warning now. Detox your plate. Cleanse your temple. Cut off the silent enemies. It may be hard at first, but your body will thank you. Your spirit will soar. Your intuition will sharpen. Your sleep will deepen. Your connection to the divine will no longer be muffled. It will roar. Your destiny is not a mystery. It's a frequency, and what you consume either raises or lowers that frequency. Every cell in your body listens to what you eat. If you're feeding a dead, lifeless food, your energy reflects that. But when you begin to nourish yourself with food that's aligned with heaven's design, something miraculous happens. You awaken. Rice, beans, and salmon are not magical because of calories. They are coated with energy, purpose, and purity. Rice has fed prophets and pilgrims across centuries, grounding, humbling, yet energized. Beans, rich with nutrients and rooted in tradition, are ancient symbols of sustainability and strength. Salmon swimming against the current mirrors the chosen ones, relentless, powerful and sacred. Its oils are brain food, divine fire for your thought. When you begin to eat with intention, every meal becomes a ritual of alignment. You are not just feeding hunger, you're feeding vision. You're building stamina for the assignment ahead. These foods are like sacred scrolls written in biological form, and when they enter your body, they don't just sit in your stomach. They activate your calling, awaken your intuition, and fortify your walk. Many of you feel it, the fatigue, the fog, the weariness of modern living. You remember what it felt like to be vibrant, alive, full of vision. But somewhere along the way, that fire dimmed. This is not age catching up. This is a disconnect between your body and its true fuel. But the good news is, it can return. As you begin to honor God's dietary instruction, you will start to feel the change almost immediately. Your skin begins to glow. Your joints move with ease. Your energy rises naturally, not from caffeine or sugar, but from divine nourishment. You will feel younger because you're no longer weighed down by dead food. Instead, you're filled with living energy. Purpose returns with vitality. As your body heals, your mind clears. The goals you once forgot start rising back to the surface. Your hands itch to build, create, heal, help. Your heart begins to feel passion again. These three foods, rice and beans and salmon, may seem humble, but in the mouth of the chosen one, they become sacraments of restoration. A new wave is approaching. It may not look like the last pandemic, but it will shake the earth again. Fear will rise, supply chains may collapse, medicine may become unreliable, but the chosen ones have already been given their survival plan. Obey the food command, and you will stand while others fall. Obedience isn't about religion, it's about spiritual alignment and divine protection. Just as the Israelites put blood over their doors to avoid the plague, today's mark of divine preservation is in your obedience to this prophetic instruction. You don't need to stockpile panic. You need to stockpile faith, wisdom, and the three sacred foods God has revealed. Those who listen will walk through the fire untouched. Their immune systems will remain strong. Their minds will stay clear. Their households will be at peace. This is not superstition. This is heaven's strategy for survival. It's not just about what you eat. It's about who you become when you say yes to God's voice. The transformation isn't coming. It's already begun. If you've felt out of place, out of sync, or even alienated recently, it's because you're shedding your old form. You are not who you were a year ago. You're not even who you were a month ago. You are evolving spiritually, emotionally, and even biologically. This change demands more than willpower. It demands the right fuel. As you become more light-filled, your body cannot process what it used to. Fast food, processed snacks, and heavy meats now feel like poison. That's because your new identity rejects the old fuel. You can't put gas in a jet plane, and you can't put toxic food in a rising spiritual being. Rice, beans, and salmon are vibrational matches for the new you. They are not meant for the average person. They are for the awakened. Just as butterflies cannot digest what caterpillars eat, you are now moving in realms that require purity, discipline, and alignment. Your future self is calling, and these foods are the bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. Science is finally catching up to what God has already declared. Food affects everything. Your gut health connects directly to your brain, mood, and spiritual perception. Your DNA is not static. It responds to input, especially from what you eat. That means your body can be reprogrammed, not by medicine, but by obedient nutrition. Rice is known to stabilize blood sugar and calm the nervous system. Beans regenerate the gut lining and reduce inflammation. Salmon heals the brain, improves focus, and lifts depression. These aren't just health benefits. They are supernatural technologies. God hid healing in nature, and now He's revealing the blueprint to His people. As you eat these foods daily, you'll feel shifts that are hard to explain. You'll hear clearer, feel lighter, and think sharper. Your body begins to operate in divine alignment, like a well-tuned instrument. You don't just get healthier, you get activated. This is not a diet. This is a divine download written into your cells. Mental fog is one of the biggest attacks on the chosen ones today. You feel the struggle to focus, the forgetfulness, the emotional numbness. It's not just stress. It's the byproduct of contaminated food and overstimulation. Your brain, the throne of divine insight, has been under siege, but now it's being set free. Salmon's omega-3s are not just nutrients. They are like fire to a wet match. They reignite dormant parts of the brain, enhance memory, and reconnect spiritual pathways. Beans provide the fiber that detoxifies your gut, which directly affects your mood and clarity. Rice supplies the steady energy that your brain thrives on, keeping you sharp without burnout. As you begin to nourish your brain with sacred foods, the fog begins to lift. Dreams return. Revelation flows. Your focus sharpens. You wake up excited again. Ideas come fast. Your connection to God feels alive and intimate. You are no longer reacting to, you are receiving. This is your mind under divine influence fueled by obedience. This is more than a moment. It's a movement. A divine dietary shift has begun. It's not being pushed by celebrities, wellness brands, or government agencies. It's coming straight from the throne of God, and it's simple. Rice, beans, and salmon. In this time of preparation, your plate is your altar. There will be days ahead when fear tries to speak louder than faith. When chaos screams and headlines flash, your obedience will be your peace. You won't need to Google survival plans. You'll have already aligned with God's. This diet is preparation for war, a spiritual war where your clarity, strength, and resilience will be tested. Don't wait for the shaking to start. Obeying. Build your body now. Train your spirit now. Sharpen your mind now. Rice, beans, and salmon may seem small, but they are tools of heavenly warfare. And every time you choose them, you say to the heavens, I'm ready. You are not being punished. You are being promoted. This calling, this instruction, this sacred diet, it's all part of your spiritual upgrade. The world is being sifted. But while others are searching for meaning, the chosen ones are stepping into purpose, and that requires transformation at every level. This isn't about being better than others. It's about being in alignment with your assignment. You've been called to stand, to lead, to heal, to build. That's a high calling, and high callings require high discipline. The divine upgrade begins when you say yes, not just with your words but with your fork. Every bite of rice, every spoon of beans, every serving of salmon is a signal to heaven that you're ready, not just to survive but to thrive. You're not just cleaning your diet, you're clearing your channel. God is about to pour through you, but only if the vessel is ready. This isn't just spiritual. Your physical body will begin to heal in ways you forgot were possible. Inflammation will decrease. Pain will fade. Your skin, hair, and energy will radiate with new light. You'll look in the mirror and see a new version of yourself, stronger, clearer, and more alive. Rejuvenation is not just for the young, it's for the obedient. Your cells are listening, and when they are fed with holy fuel, they rebuild in alignment with divine perfection. You'll begin to crave what's good, not because of discipline, but because your body recognizes truth. You'll rise earlier, sleep deeper, think clearer, love harder, and through it all your spirit will shine, because this isn't about looking good. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be, a vessel of power, a channel of light, a warrior of peace. You are not just human, you are divine, and now you are finally feeding that truth. There's a level of energy coming to your body that cannot be explained by science. It is supernatural endurance, a divine surge that will carry you through the challenges ahead. As you align with the sacred foods God has assigned, rice, beans, and salmon, you'll find yourself powered by a force that goes beyond sleep, caffeine, or supplement. This is the kind of strength the prophets of old carried when they walked for days without rest, when they stood against empires with nothing but truth in their mouths. Your body was not made to run on artificial fuel. It was designed to operate in rhythm with nature and heaven. The fatigue you've known, the dragging morns, the short tempers, the brain fog is not your natural state. It was a byproduct of being out of sync with the divine source. Now, as you return God's fuel plan, your system will reset, and the true vitality of your design will awaken. You won't just get through your days, you'll dominate them. Imagine waking up without an alarm, your feet touching the floor with purpose, your mind already clear, your body light and strong. Imagine working through the day without burnout, without emotional crashes, without needing to escape. This is what supernatural energy looks like. And it comes not from hype, but from holy alignment. When your nutrition is in sync with your spiritual assignment, you become a vessel that flows effortlessly with divine stamina. You'll also notice that this energy is not chaotic. It's focused, calm, and under divine discipline. The chosen ones are not meant to live in survival mode. They are meant to be carriers of peace, healing, and vision. That requires strength. And that strength is now being poured into you as you obey this sacred command. You will walk longer, speak stronger, endure more, and radiate life, all without burning out. God is not just preparing you, He's positioning you. And one of the most powerful tools He's using in this season is your obedience to divine instructions, especially the ones that seem small. Obeying this simple command to eat only rice, beans, and salmon is not about restriction, it's about activation. When you obey, you unlock a flow of divine acceleration over your life. What would normally take years will begin to happen in weeks. Delays will dissolve, relationships will align, opportunities will arise, seemingly out of nowhere. This isn't magic, it's spiritual cause and effect. Heaven responds to obedience. Just as Abraham's obedience made him the father of nations, yours will unlock inheritance, momentum, and breakthrough. God is moving quickly in this hour, but only those in alignment can move with Him. Obedience is the key that turns the engine of divine movement. And in this season, God is not asking for complicated rituals. He's asking for trust. When He says only 3 foods, it's not about legalism. It's about reprogramming your path. That trust in something so simple opens the gates for something so massive. You'll watch doors open that were once sealed. You'll see healing move faster. You'll feel time bend in your favor. Don't underestimate the power of simple obedience. It is the most powerful seed you can sow. It says to God, I trust your wisdom more than my appetite. And that act of humility invites divine acceleration into every corner of your life. The blessings that have been circling are about to land, because now you are finally ready to receive them. Food is not neutral. It either lifts you up or weighs you down. Many people walk around feeling heavy, foggy, and drained, not realizing that their plate is the source of their pain. Processed food, chemically altered ingredients, and flesh from traumatized animals carry low vibrations, and those vibrations drag down your energy, emotions, and spiritual clarity. But as you shift into the divine diet of rice, beans, and salmon, you'll start to feel light again, not just physically but emotionally and spiritually. You'll no longer wake up sluggish. You won't crash midday. You'll notice that your thoughts are lighter, your mood is more stable, and your ability to hear from God becomes sharper. That's because you've cut off the drain at the root. Low vibration foods no longer have access to your temple. Think of your body as a sacred altar. When it's polluted, the fire doesn't burn bright, but when it's cleansed and properly fueled, the flame never goes out. That's what happens when you let go of the food that poisons your flow. You are not designed to carry the weight of food engineered in labs or harvested in fear. You are designed to thrive off food that's born of light, peace, and divine purpose. Low vibration foods keep you tied to cycles of depression, doubt, and distraction. But as you eat higher vibration fuel, you step into joy, peace, and vision. You begin to see things clearer. You begin to feel hope again. You don't need a therapist for everything. Sometimes you just need the right food. And now you found it. Your transformation is not cosmetic. It is cellular. God is not just changing your habits. He is literally rebuilding you from the inside out. Every time you take a bite of the sacred foods He's prescribed, you're giving your body permission to regenerate, heal, and rise. This isn't metaphor. This is divine biology. Science confirms what Scripture has long implied. The body renews itself constantly. Cells die and are replaced. Tissues rebuild. Even your gut, the core of your immune system and intuition, regenerates every few weeks. And now with these foods, you're giving your body the clean materials to do the job right. Rice provides the grounding. Beans bring the fiber and strength. Salmon offers the omega oils that nourish the mind and heart. But more than physical, God is rebuilding your spirit. The trauma, the burnout, the spiritual numbness, it's being stripped away layer by layer. You are being reset, recalibrated, and recommissioned. You're being made into a vessel fit for the weight of glory you're about to carry. And it all starts with something as humble as what you put on your plate. This rebuilding will feel like resurrection. Slowly, then suddenly, you'll look in the mirror and see someone new. Your eyes will be brighter. Your skin will glow. Your laughter will return. Your discernment will sharpen. You'll feel like you've been given a new lease on life. Because you have. God is rebuilding you for what's next. And you'll be ready. There are gifts inside you that have been lying dormant. Not because you lost them, but because you've been too weighed down to use prophetic dreams, deep discernment, spiritual sight, healing hands, creative downloads. They've been muffled by physical fog and spiritual clutter. But as you obey the divine diet, your spiritual senses will awaken again. It starts subtly. You'll begin to feel when something's off before it happens. You'll dream in more color, more clarity. You'll begin to know things without knowing how. That's not coincidence. That's your spiritual DNA rebooting. These gifts have been with you all along, but now they are finally being unlocked. Imagine waking up each morning feeling not just rested but completely recharged. Your body humming with vibrant energy and your mind razor sharp, ready to face the day with unstoppable determination. This is not a dream or wishful thinking. When you commit to God's sacred diet of rice, beans, and salmon, this becomes your new reality. The spiritual nourishment you receive fuels your entire being, activating a divine clarity that pierces through confusion and overwhelm. The fatigue that once weighed you down will lift like a morning mist, revealing a fresh landscape where your thoughts are clear and your goals come into sharp focus. You won't find yourself drifting aimlessly or losing hours to distraction. Instead, you will move with purpose and precision, because your spirit has been realigned to God's perfect plan. This is the power of obedience. When your physical and spiritual selves unite, you awaken to the fullness of your destiny. Your days will be marked by productivity and peace. As the divine focus granted to you guards your mind against the noise of this chaotic world, you will make decisions with confidence, solve problems with creativity, and operate in flow as if guided by an invisible hand. This focus is not your own doing. It is a gift reserved for the chosen ones who honor God's instructions with their very lives. And in this sacred rhythm of waking up renewed, you will discover a wellspring of joy and gratitude that fuels your every action. No longer will mornings be met with dread or exhaustion. They will become sacred moments of communion with the divine, setting the tone for days filled with purpose, passion, and unstoppable momentum. The journey you're on is not just physical. It is deeply spiritual. God's chosen foods act as a key, unlocking doors to realms of revelation and insight previously hidden. When your body is purified and your spirit nourished by rice, beans, and salmon, your ability to receive divine knowledge skyrockets. It's as though a veil is lifted from your spiritual eyes, allowing you to see clearly the path ahead and hear the whispers of heaven with profound clarity. Higher revelation means more than understanding future events. It means comprehending your purpose, your gifts, and your place in the grand tapestry of God's plan. It opens your heart to deep intimacy with God and aligns your soul with the cosmic rhythms of the universe. As you eat in obedience, the divine downloads come swiftly and clearly, transforming you from a seeker to a conduit of divine wisdom. Many people struggle for years chasing answers through books, teachers, and experience. But when you follow this sacred diet, revelation flows naturally and effortlessly. Because you've prepared the vessel to receive it, your spirit becomes a fertile ground, where God's words take root and grow into life-changing truths that shape your journey. This sacred unlocking is a sacred gift to the chosen ones, an invitation to live beyond the limitations of the physical world and to walk boldly in the fullness of divine purpose. Every bite you take is a step closer to the revelations that will transform not only your life, but the lives of those you are called to serve. Many of you have been walking through a thick spiritual fog, feeling lost, confused, or unsure about your direction. This fog, born from years of spiritual warfare, bad nutrition, and distraction has clouded your vision and dimmed your passion. But the promise of this divine diet is that the fog will lift when you align with God's chosen foods. Clarity returns like the dawn breaking after a long, dark night. As your mind clears, so will your heart. You'll begin to recognize your true calling with unmistakable certainty. The distractions and doubts that once pulled you off course will lose their power. What was once muddled and confusing becomes illuminated with divine light, revealing the exact steps you are meant to take in this season. It's as if God is holding up a spotlight shining directly on your purpose. This clarity is more than intellectual understanding. It's a full-body, soul-deep knowing that stirs you to action. You'll feel empowered to leave toxic environments, break destructive habits, and pursue your God-given assignments with unwavering confidence. This is the gift of spiritual nutrition, the power to see your life through God's eyes and to walk boldly into the future He has prepared. And as you step into this newfound clarity, your life will begin to change in miraculous ways. Opportunities will appear, relationships will shift, and your spirit will soar with renewed hope. The fog may have clouded your journey, but it will no longer define it.